This is one video that I think anyone would wonder whether they should make, pardon me, under the circumstances. But I also start to think I'm getting to know the people that, not everybody obviously, who listen to my voice on these occasional videos I make. And I think, God, I seem to be, well, it's very dry here. The humidity's 28%, so that gives you an idea. Anyway, I think a lot of people who listen to what I've got to say over the past month or so, longer, are kind of in the same position as me and have been for many years, which is literally screaming at people that this has been a plan underway for well over, well, for me visibly 12 years, really sped up for the past 10, but in essence since 9/11, actually, since they could pull off something like that and convince the world of a heinous lie, followed up with 7/7 in the UK and numerous other subsequent false flags and psyops since, to the point of saturation where the public themselves just can't handle the flow of information coming from mass media and from people like us. And it's put us in a position where we've persisted and alienated ourselves in many ways from people simply because they can't accept or never wanted to accept that a scenario like this could actually be played out in front of them, where they'd lose their travel, their freedom, their ability to congregate, in some people's cases the ability to go to church or the ability to go out into the countryside or go to the beach. I mean, you can add lists and lists to this that's coming over the next few weeks and months and potentially for the rest of our lives now, because if they put this into place and everybody just rolls over, they've got, if you hadn't noticed, the entire globe in the palm of their hand, supposedly for a virus now that outside of the main countries, is still not having much more of a detrimental effect, if not any detrimental effect, compared to a seasonal flu. So for people like myself, and I didn't know that it would take shape exactly like this. And I think many of us, what people would call either preppers or survivalists or conspiracy theorists, and you know I hate that term, because you'll find out over the next 6 months to a year exactly what a conspiracy is. In fact, you're living in one. And, you know, to my subscribers and people listening, some of you who are new to this kind of information, this isn't reflected at you at all. You're very welcome, and I hope you've learnt a little something from me and other people in the comments, gone to their channels and videos and the links that I've put in. I see myself more as a mouthpiece for the information I pick up, and obviously my perception on things, I'm usually a few weeks ahead, simply I believe because I have the time now and still an active mind. So it's a situation I'm in that allows me to do this, and I think lack of responsibility in many areas as well. So I know people who make YouTube channels as well. They have friends, family listening under pseudonyms, and I know other people will feel exactly the same as me now. We tried to warn you so many times. We just layered it up. Okay, we started off aggressive at times, didn't we? Then we laid off, we were gentle. We tried different approaches. We tried everything from making people aware just of what was going on around them. And I believe now that there was enough of us doing this between groups, communities, towns, cities, to have made a difference to people had there not been such a distraction played out through mobile telephony and on our TV screens and Hollywood. Not just that, choice, cars, holidays, clothes, images, everything. Anal bleaching, excuse my language, for fuck's sake, literally, anal bleaching, $4,000, you know. So you can't really expect people to grasp this situation as we are. And not everybody, but I know people new to this are perhaps starting to grasp exactly what's occurring here. And if you had someone giving you information over the past few years and you've poo-pooed it, and you've perhaps gone away and just thought or talked about them behind their back and said, yeah, well, conspiracy theorist, he's lost it, or she's lost it, or they're just paranoid, etc., etc. Have a good look around you, okay? Or even better, why don't you meet up with all your friends over the next few days in a bar somewhere, perhaps arrange to go to the beach, maybe go on a foreign holiday, maybe you could go to Amazon, maybe you could buy something nice for yourself, like a jacuzzi or something, or you could buy, I don't know, perhaps you could try and do these things. 2 weeks? No, you can't do them for 2 weeks for certain in some areas. If you haven't experienced this yet, you're about to. And that's a fact. And if you think that they're going to let this go as a one-off example, you'd be very wrong. And so many of us saw this as an introduction to the next level of living for all human beings. And it's called a global reset. And it happens every century or so. This one, technologically driven, clearly. And, you know, there's not much more, I think, now people like myself and other people who've tried to make people aware can do. We are entering a phase. I mean, okay, if you want to put it so commercially and bluntly, we're entering a short period of the Hunger Games, and we're going to enter a longer period that's going to merge into something that looks like 1984, cross between a Brave New World. And that really isn't an exaggeration. Eugenics, transhumanism, all come into play here. Population culls, planned migrations, you name it. We are literally, everything that any conspiracy theorist has ever screamed at you has just been rolled into one tight little package and shoved up your arse. And don't forget, mine too. Cheers.